Today we are going to explain the quantum immortality theory, and the best way that I can think to do it is to use the computer game The Sims. So if you've ever played The Sims before, you already know what I'm talking about, but it's pretty much a simulation on a computer where you can play human lives, and their lifespans are very short compared to what the time we put into these people are. But you get to choose their clothes, their work, everything about them, They have children, they die, you can play their children. It's a fun game. Let's say you make an avatar, the same one person for yourself, and you start 5 games at the same time. But your consciousness, the game that you're focused on playing, can only be done one at a time. Say you're starting off with your first game and you've gotten to a certain point, something happens, you go into a swimming pool and someone removes the ladder and you drown. At that point, you either have the choice to restart that game, or you can go on to the next universe and kind of keep on going where you left off. If you choose to go on to the next universe or the parallel world, that avatar that's just going to wake up as just in one day out of the blue for them will have no memory of the previous life. They might have memories though, they might have past life memories, and that might explain where that concept comes from. So now you're playing this new game and you're kind of merged into the two. You have some subconscious memories of the previous life and knowledge gained in that one, and then things happened in this one that you are aware of at the same time because they did happen in this reality that you're now in this body that you're now in. Again, you might have some memories of the past life. So that's how you get things like the Mandela effect, where it's these small, very, very small changes that people will go to the grave saying that this is the way things were, something changed, and they can't explain it. Maybe in that previous universe, there was an apocalypse, everyone died, everyone's now in this one that survived or that got a second lifetime in it, and now you have the natives from this lifetime that are being like, nah, like it's always been this way. You have those from the old one being like, no, it used to be like this, and that's where we get into these long, intense discussions. The thing about this concept though is that there are some people that are going to be NPCs their entire lifetime that you know them. So they could just be empty shells because their consciousness is on a different universe. Or maybe, as far as we know, there's just people walking around that just never had actual consciousness. They never had souls. They have personalities. They have things that are programmed into them on how they're going to behave. They're going to marry so-and-so. They're going to have certain kids. That stays the same in every lifetime unless a consciousness diverts from it. That could kind of explain why it seems like there are some people who stayed the same or on the same trajectory for so long until they have a spiritual awakening and then everything changes for them in their life. It might be just because at that point they've now gained the consciousness in that reality where maybe you've already had your consciousness in it and you're now seeing more and more people hop on into this one. So as far as we know, this whole spiritual awakening that we're experiencing right now with a lot of people waking up could just be apocalypses happening in other parallel universes. And now that we have more and more people that are having this awareness and are having these memories, we're able to maybe stop it in this one. And who cares if we can't do it in this one? We can do it in the next one because we'll all hop on into that one as well. There's really 2 ways that this plays out in the end. One is that you have a fixed age where that is just as long as your player has. Like, there is no more hopping after that. That's just when your time ends and the rest of the world continues. Or you keep on going and going and going and going and going, which means that you really are immortal because you can't die because there will always be another parallel universe for you to pop into. Let's go with the first thing. It's a fixed age, and at that point, you can't hop anymore. You have the choice to either be reborn again and start the whole parallel universe cycles all over again, or you can choose to play as someone in your bloodline. You can play as one of your children, and The Sims lets you do that as well. Now you're playing as your child, your grandchild, your great-grandchild, your whatever. Depends on how long the cycle's been going on and whichever universe you then jump into the next one and where that is in the timeline too. But that kind of explains the idea of reincarnation. Other past lives from like the timeline past that really were you, and you've played those out so many times, you're ready to move on to the next generation. You're done playing those old versions of yourself again. That's kind of why I think right now there's this big push to get to space. We haven't even finished exploring this planet yet, and I got my own theories on that too. There's so much going on. It makes absolute no sense for the bazillionaires that we have on this planet to be okay with the destruction and the level that is happening right now here, unless they really know that they either don't have another lifetime or the next one they may not be rich in. Well, they're thinking, okay, we have this knowledge. Let's go on ahead and get in spaceships so that when this world gets destroyed, we might have a chance to survive and continue on in this reality, but without the world. And maybe that's what happens at some point. Maybe that's what becomes aliens for future generations that then go to newer versions of worlds and visit the existing people that are there in their primitive states and take all that technology that they got with them from this last lifetime where they did escape the apocalypse, and they start a whole new one. Maybe that's what happens. Who knows? That's my crazy conspiracy theory for the night. If you like it, please thumbs up, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to keep on hearing more of the stuff that goes on in my crazy head. And thanks so much for joining today. I love you. Bye-bye.